Okay, there were certain problems put up by children, so I'm simplifying them here. This was I to the power of 19 plus 1 upon I to the power of 25's whole square we have to evaluate. Okay, so as we had told you that if you get higher powers of iota, you write them as multiples of 4. So we will break this 19 as 4 fours are 16 plus 3, 17, 18, 19. Okay, same way now here you have I in denominator. So first you need to remove it from denominator. Okay, get your iota in numerator. So for that you'll multiply it by I. So into I upon I. So that becomes I in numerator, 1 into I, and I square in denominator. Okay, and then this part 25 again multiple of 4 में लिखोगे तो 4 6 are 24 plus 1. This I square is minus 1, so this actually becomes minus I. Okay, and यहाँ हमें पता है that I to the power of 4 becomes 1, so 1 to any power is 1 only, so into I cube बच जाता है यहाँ से only, right? So this reduces to I cube, and this becomes minus I because of this I square being minus 1. So minus of I to this power again minus to any even power. 4 6 multiple चल रहा है तो ये पॉजिटिव हो जाएगा, and again I to the power of 4 1 1 to the power of 6 is 1 only. So this you are left with only minus I to the power of 1. तो ये खाली minus I बच जाएगा, right? And I cube is also minus I. We know that. Okay, ये सब lower powers हमने पहले पढ़ी हुई हैं. So minus I and minus I. In simplified form, this is equivalent to minus I, and this is turning also out to be minus I. So minus I becomes minus 2I. Now square it. तो पहले जो अंदर है उसे maximum आप simplify कर लो and then you square it. So negative square becomes positive. 2 square is 4. I square is minus 1. So that is why minus of 4. Okay. All right. Now the next one was like this. 1 plus I square plus I to the power of 4, I to the power of 6, I to the power of 8. This way this sequence is going up to I to the power of 20. Okay. So this would have become simpler if you had applied sum of GP. This is forming a GP, but now since you haven't studied GP as yet, so I'm simplifying it by another technique for you all. So 1 and I square becomes minus 1, we know that value, and I to the power of 4 is 1, we know that as well. And ये इसमें again multiple आप अगर आप निकालोगे, so this you will write as I to the power of 4, which is again 1, and plus 2 बचता है, so only I square, अभी जैसा हम ऊपर कर रहे थे. And I to the power of 8 is I to the power of 4. वही आपने multiples of 4 maximum निकालने हैं, because we know I to the power of 4 is 1, I to the power of 3 is minus I square is minus 1. So we have to try to write them in terms of those whose value we already know. Okay, so ऐसे ये sequence जाता जाएगा, and this last one is also coming as multiple of 4. See, I to the power of 4 5s are 20. Okay, now what you need to understand here is that in all there will be 11 terms here, children. Okay, this is your first term, second term, third term, fourth term. तो ये कैसे जा रहा है? 1 plus I square or 2 into 1, 2 square, 2 2s are 4, 2 into 2, 2 into 3 6, 2 into 4 8. तो ऐसे जा रहा है. See, this was your first, second term है 2 into 1, third term है 2 into 2, fourth term है 2 into 3, fifth term है 2 into 4. So जो वाला भी term है उससे 1 less is the power out here. Okay, of 2 into that much. So 20 is 2 into 10. तो अगर ये 2 into 10 है तो ये एक्चुअली हमारा 11th टर्म होगा. सो देयर आर इन ऑल फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगनिंग टोटल 11 टर्म्स. दैट इज व्हाट वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड. ठीक है, तो यहाँ से जब सीक्वेंस चल रही है, दे आर टोटल 11 टर्म्स. नाउ सी व्हाट आर वी ऑब्जर्विंग इज ये 1 था, आई स्क्वायर इज -1, बैलेंस्ड. I to the power of 4 is 1. This is reducing to I square is once again -1. So +1 -1. ये आपका वापस +1 आएगा. नेक्स्ट वाला I to the power of 10 करके देखो आप. Okay, that will come out to be -1. So this is what is happening. 4 to the 8 and I square आएगा ना again. So I square will become -1. तो alternately आपके +1 -1 आते आते ये सब कैंसिल होते जाएंगे, and टोटल 11 टर्म्स थे तो 10 टर्म्स तो बैलेंस हो गए. +1 -1 +1 -1 +1 -1 टिल 10 टर्म्स दे विल गेट कैंसल्ड टू गिव यू अ 0, एंड लास्ट टर्म आपका ये बच जाएगा जिसका वैल्यू इज 1. सो इन नेट फाइनल रिजल्टेंट द वैल्यू विल कम आउट टू बी 1. Okay, all right, then there was this another one. Hopefully this was to be written in A plus IB form, right? Because that is what is required. So whenever we have complex number in denominator, we multiply by its conjugate. तो इसका real part ये पूरा है. 1 minus cos theta is its real part and 2 sin theta is its imaginary part. So हमने ये minus times conjugate से multiply कर दिया है. Numerator will come like this, real part plus imaginary part, and real part square plus imaginary part square. Whenever we multiply a complex number by its conjugate, we get real part square plus imaginary part square. 2 sin theta इसका imaginary part था. Then just open this bracket. 1 minus cos theta whole square is a square plus b square minus 2ab. And this one 4 sin square theta बन जाएगा. Now at the most what we can do is, since I have a cos square theta out here and we know that identity, cos square theta plus sin square theta is 1. तो इसमें से एक sin square theta यहाँ adjust करके we can write cos square theta plus sin square theta as 1. So 1 plus 1 2. 2 cos theta and यहाँ पे left over हो जाएंगे आपके 3 sin square theta. So there is nothing more we can do to simplify this. That's the maximum for the denominator. Same way for the numerator. Now there is nothing more left to simplify. So यही इसका standard form हो जाएगा. Real part में आपका आ जाएगा 1 minus cos theta upon this whole, and imaginary part में आ जाएगा 2 sin theta upon that whole.